Same link, Ron.
Part 3.
This town hall goes to 3.
3 town halls in one day.
And we're not done yet. We got another hour.
We'll see. I don't know if we'll have an hour worth of questions, but okay. I'm gonna give everyone a second here to get the new link up. And then, unfortunately, Dave, I'm sorry you kept getting interrupted. But yeah, if you remember where you were,
Yeah,
go back
I'll
into it.
summarize it real quick. A lot of projects that we got in the hopper. Can't do all of them right away, but that doesn't mean we're not working on them. In fact, some of the things we have in the hopper that you won't see. I mean, some of the things you see is going to be great, and then also some things that are going to happen next year too. So we're not even close to being done with what we have potential to do.
Yeah, in fact, I'd say like we add more ideas on faster than we can do them, so the list actually grows faster than it shrinks. But that's good, and then we just have to, do our best at prioritizing and figuring out what's the most impactful, what the community and new players are going to like the most, and how long things are going to take, and just get going. All right. Well, now it seems like things have been stable for 20 seconds here, which is a win. Thank you, Ron, for doing that. Should we go ahead and open it up for Q&A here? Covered the main topics. So Q&A session is now officially opened. You can put your questions in Discord or various other channels. I'll remind everybody that if you have a question that doesn't get answered during the live town hall, you can put it in the town hall channel at any time. I know we've been a little slow at getting back to those recently, but we're going to try to make sure we answer everything in a reasonable amount of time in between town halls. All right, so a couple questions coming in here through Discord. We got Quantum Nachos. We're roughly a week away from the 6-month mark of Conclave pre-sale release date. How's the company doing in progress reaching its financial goals outlined in the beginning of the year to break even in expenses? As was stated, I believe to be $3 million per year operating costs, and what's still to come beyond core set to push things over the edge. Yeah, well, that's a good point. So I think we're a bit over halfway done for the Conclave Arcana set sale. I think it will be completely gone based on the burning mechanism in March of next year. So we have less than 6 months left for that. 5 months. We have 5 months left for that. So, just as a reminder there, if you don't get your packs before then, you won't be able to get them other than off the market from other players. And as the set goes on and more packs are burned and opened, there's higher and higher chances of getting the premium cards, the arcane foils or the arcane variants from the prize bucket. So that's one of the things I'm kind of excited about to see what happens as it gets close to selling out and after it sells out and people start pulling arcanes like when the set first launched. I think that'll be a really exciting thing. But the question was really about the company and our financial goals. I think we're pretty well on track. Dave, feel free to jump in, but Dave's been pretty instrumental in expense reductions. And we've been, pretty much on track with the business plan, which, started around the time that CA pre-sale launched. So things are going very well from that perspective. And we also had the mini set proposal, which got us a bunch of DEC, which is very helpful. So from an operational standpoint, I think we're in the most stable space we've been in the last 3 years or so, um, which is great. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, yeah, I think we definitely made a lot of strides, and sales for Conclave are kind of ahead of Rebellion, which is good. And like Matt said, I think we'll actually sell more at the end than we did for Rebellion, which kind of just fizzled out. There wasn't a big rush at the end where I think there will be here. So I think that there's more sales to come. One of the issues that we run our business on a calendar year like every other business. So we have a January to December structure, but in the past we've kind of run our set sales on a 15 to 18 month schedule. So balancing, what is that? How should we look at the business? Should we look at it over 15 to 18 months, like, you know, core set to core set, right? Or look at it on a annual basis? There's some math that needs to be done there. If we are going to permanently have, let's say, a 18-month cycle, then we probably got more work to do in terms of expense reduction. But having said that, it's possible we could compress, the time frame as well. So, I think we're in great shape with where we were. We have a lot of choices now available, and as demand keeps coming in, for our product, then of course, every dollar that comes in, is a dollar that we have to solidify where we're at. So I think we're in good shape, and I'm looking forward to really what happens with the mini set. I think the mini set is going to be a big deal. So I think it's going to be good for us, and I think it's going to be great for the DAO. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and I mean, for some like background context, it's been 2 years, a little over 2 years since I guess I stepped into this role, and initially I just had this big long list of like major issues that needed to be resolved or were potentially uh, fatal for the company. And at this point, they've all been addressed. They've all been taken care of. There's really no serious major issues overhanging us. Dave's been a big help, obviously, with that. And so now we're really just focused on product and growth rather than like just fixing problems that were left over from past issues. So like that for me is really nice and good. A big load off there, and hopefully it's kind of reflected in what you guys have seen from the last like 6 months or so. It's just a lot more focus on product and growth and building versus I guess you guys don't see it, but in the background, like I had just been dealing with all this nonsense business stuff, um, not product stuff. So that's where we're at there. The next question from our faded glory: When Arena Barmaiden, with a totally not AI generated video there of a barmaiden. I don't know. What do you think, Nate?
I don't know. It sounds more like a Blaze question. I can imagine something like that after the Arena Fanatic guy with the big helmet and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Anything's possible.
Yeah, I'll chime in on that. I think that the Arena Fanatic has been very positive. The people that are winning the cards, it's achieving the objective, which is people feel special when they get it. And we talked earlier about the community participation in the rule sets, for instance, and we sent one of these gold foils to everyone that did submit, and they were extremely appreciative. And it was a rewarding thing. So yeah, I think you'll see more Arena Fanatic type cards, whether it's a Arena Barmaiden or not. It looks good to me, but we got to get that through you, Nate. So you'll be the one that makes that final call.
And
And obviously in conjunction with Blaze too. But
there's the potential to do other things now coming up. There's going to be a lot more cosmetic options, so maybe you can get a special badge on your new player avatar for having participated or done a community events and streams and all that stuff, or special clothing for your avatar, whatever, all sorts of different things. We'll be able to provide. Skins is another thing. So hopefully we'll be able to do this a lot more. Adding a new card is a bigger deal, and we need to be careful with how often we do that and the distribution of them. But we'll be able to start distributing, I think, a lot more different, varied content that'll let people really obviously show off in game their participation in all these things.
Yeah, we still have a lot of Arena Fanatics to hand out, so we got at least 5 or 6 more months of that before we move on to the next one. But like you said, we have all kinds of other ways to do giveaways. And real quick on skins, Christmas is not too far away, so we have to have a meeting on that, because we're not going to stop with these skins. The community is just gobbling it up. Speaking of gobbling, Thanksgiving, are we going to get one done for Thanksgiving, Nate?
I don't know. I don't know. We're full steam ahead on the mini set stuff, so we'll have to see what's in our bandwidth.
Furious Turkey.
I will say that we have in the past tried to stick with holidays that were international in scope, not just the U.S. But I don't see any reason why that has to be a hard rule. We can do anything, so I guess we'll see.
Or even maybe Splinterlands holidays. One of these days.
And we could also, sometimes the beautiful thing about skins, we don't have to do a full release like we just did all the time. Like, we may just put out 3 or 4 skins that, that represent the Thanksgiving holiday. Like Brave Tofu wants a tofu turkey, for instance. So
perfect. Tofurkey.
Yeah, exactly.
And real quick on the pickle auction, that event was fun. Thanks to Fizz and Michael B for participating in the little thriller of an ending there. And that just shows that concept really works, and we'll be implementing that in the future. And maybe we can even do like a limited skins where people are participating in auctions.
Yeah, 100%. We can use the auction marks and that stuff for skins and other cosmetics too. Next plan from Moffitt. How are you, Matt? Been a while. Yeah, well, I mean, since last month, I guess, if you were on the town hall last month. I'm also around generally, for things. I know this was brought up a few months back, but the SPS launch in the crypto market, like Binance, would really help boost the market value of SPS and place Splinterlands at the center stage. Any plans of making it happen? Yeah, I think we've addressed this a number of times. It's not that we are not trying to make this happen, or if we did something, it would happen. It's difficult. In the past, you had to pay like millions of dollars or things to get your tokens listed. So we are always open to ideas for how we could potentially get the token and the game in general in front of more audiences in different places. But it's not a matter of us like doing something. You don't just call. I can't just call up CZ and tell them to launch SPS. So again, that's SPS is a community project. It is a DAO. So anyone in the community who has any type of ins with Binance or anything else and wants to start get that project in motion, we would be obviously extremely supportive of anything we could do to make that happen. But that's the team is generally focused on the product first and foremost. Clay and the DAO managers and community are the ones specifically to lead any SPS token things, and we just are here to support that. Another question for me from Intrepid Surfer. The team rocks. Thank you. I agree. Was there any way to humanely force the team into a well-deserved break, meaning no screen time at all? We don't want burnouts. I mean, yeah, I don't. I kind of tend to leave it up to everyone here to manage their own schedules and things. Typically we try to avoid saying like all these things need to be done by certain dates, and we leave it up to the team as much as possible. Obviously, there's some times where we need things to hit certain dates, but generally we try to leave it up to investigator or Nate or whoever it is. We say here are the projects that we're looking to do, and we look at them to kind of come up with time frames. And then if the time frames are too long, we look at maybe, okay, can we cut some things? Can we make it Can we make it less? And there's been a lot of times where we put time frames on things and they're just not done in time, and that is what it is. I think we're in a situation where everyone on this team really wants to be here. They're all self-motivated. So if things aren't done or things take too long, it's not because anyone's slacking off. Um, it's just because it actually takes longer. So I generally I don't plan to like force anyone to take breaks, but I put it on everyone in the team to manage themselves properly, and I hope everyone on the team feels that if they need to take a break or that they can't get things done in time, that it's fine to say that, and there's no like repercussions. And we just work with that. I don't know if anyone else wants to comment on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is what happens when everybody on pretty much everybody, I don't know if anybody is that's not, that they're absolutely obsessed with seeing Splinterland succeed. So, I mean, it's 1:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning for Dave and Royal Eagle, and it's not unnormal. It happens all the time, and we're here because we want to. We're putting the energy into it because we want to. And when somebody needs to take a break, they'll slow down and take a break and let everybody know. But we're having a blast, so burnout isn't a thing when you love what you're doing. So that's what I got.
Yeah, thanks, Blaze. So again, that's the mindset. Like everyone uh, hopefully can manage themselves, and we're all just here trying to do the best they can. And there's no negative repercussions for anyone who needs to take time off or if we're behind on things. Um,
I would say I would add to it that we're all here to achieve objectives and succeed. So we're kind of going to do whatever we need to do to succeed. We understand that, right? So everybody's here voluntarily. It's a free will world. It's a free will company. But at the end of the day, if we want to succeed, we need to get certain things done, and we all understand that that's the case. And I can assure you that everybody that I communicate with on the team, that's all they want, right? They want to succeed. They love the job, they love the project, and they love the community. So, they're going to do what they can to make it work.
yeah, and Dave's been instrumental in helping to make that happen. Um, Next question is from Garut. With the unbinding scrolls, maybe it's high time we can include its usage for gladiator soulbound cards. Yeah, that's a good point. I would say probably, I think Dave, you mentioned this earlier. We would probably not use the same unbinding scrolls that we're planning to use for the new reward cards. Just because the distribution and everything of those is designed for the new reward cards, and it may not necessarily work for the gladiator cards. But I think we talked about redoing guilds completely. We talked about that will include probably a new gladiator set. So as part of that, I think the ability to unbind gladiator cards definitely makes sense. You
Yeah,
can
I
already
would
see those
agree.
on the market.
And the good thing about the gladiator cards, because I've actually thought about this a lot, the gladiator cards have not, you haven't been able to purchase them any other way at any other time. So therefore, it's not an issue with unbinding them, whatever we decide. Like whatever we come up with is the right way to unbind them. There's nothing we need to worry about, you know, in terms of, like, for instance, the Conclave Arcana set, we couldn't be applied to Rebellion because people already paid, 20x for that. And there was no unbinding potions at that time. So it made it really hard. But with Gladiators, we haven't had any unlock at all. So whatever we come up with should be pretty good.
All right. Sorry, I lost my place here. Gathering the Magic had the next question. For the loot chests, are the number of draw entries variable or just one entry each? I expect one entry for a minor chest, maybe higher for major and ultimate chest. I think there's more than one for the higher level chest. I'm trying to pull up the spreadsheet here. Yeah, I think major chests you can get 3 entries, and ultimate you can get 5. It looks like. So and the final numbers will all be, out and included. I think they were in the post, the announcement post. Maybe not. I don't know. But Short answer is yes. There should be more entries if you get them in the more expensive chests. Question from Clay: have you guys thought any more about the idea of a card graveyard? I really think it'd be a massive card sink while also allowing people to make better use of their land without having to blow hundreds or thousands of dollars per plot, even if it's something like a 25,000 or 50,000 production limit for burning cards onto the land. I think I remember, Dave, we talked about some ideas for card burning generally, for other things in the game. I don't know that we've talked about it for land specifically, but if Clay, if you want to reach out with more specifics about what you're thinking, we can move forward on that. But
Yeah, and I was actually talking to Harry about that exact issue today. So yes, it's a good time.
But yeah, I mean, generally we want to encourage burning, especially the older, especially Chaos Legion cards. So like figure out some cool ways that are not like one-offs to incorporate card burning into the game. Question from Rudy: do we have the metrics to see how many people are moving from Frontier into Ranked and the retention once they do? Seems like the most relevant way to gauge our success. Yeah, Blaze, I think we're tracking some of that stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, we have all the tools, and I don't have that exact report in front of me right now, but we can gather that and publish it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be good if we get maybe just around the town halls or whatever to just have like a onboarding report or something. Marketing and onboarding report would be a cool thing to do on maybe like a monthly basis or something, or quarterly basis, because there's been a bunch of questions about those type of numbers.
Yeah, like somebody said the other day, they thought we only had 800 players because we only have 800 people that vote on the proposals. And I was like, no, we have like 7,000 last season and, 7,800 the season before, like much bigger numbers than 800. So I think stuff like that would definitely help, because not everybody who votes or not everybody who plays the game votes their SPS.
Yeah, proposal voting is like more of a power user feature. I expect like the majority of new players not to get to proposal voting potentially ever, but hopefully at some point they get into that. But yeah, but it is great to see that many people voting on proposals also, because some in some communities, some DAOs, it's like really a very small group of people who participate. So having that many people participating in the governance is also great.
And just real quick on the numbers, we're dialing in the tools. Nate's making some adjustments to the funnel. So we're still in the building phase, but those reports are going to start getting consistent because we're going to start getting consistent data now that we have the tools. So we're going to do a couple more tweaks, but then we'll be giving you numbers.
Cool. Yeah, I know internally we have dashboards that's tracking a lot of this, which is great. Clay has a question. Would you like to add support for bridging Hive and HBD through in the in-game UI? Yeah, if we can do that, let's talk about it. I also, I want to be careful that the things we do in game are directly related to the game experience, and we don't confuse people too much. But I think, obviously being able to get Hive and HBD is very helpful for a lot of our players. So. And I did see your announcement earlier about the new bridges you guys have added along with tribal decks. So that's great work there. Generally, like getting more support for our tokens. Furky skin comments. Question from Intrepid Surfer: in the future, will our avatar be able to use directly in battle? I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. Guys,
yeah, me too, Matt. I normally talk a lot, so in this case, I won't.
You guys can.
We've got them all. We've got them all.
Gathering the Magic is asking, can there be an option added to the new reward card set for once you have a card maxed, you can't pull that card in any draws or chests, like a toggle option to help people complete that last legendary or epic card? Maybe. I think I'd have to think about that one. I mean, part of it is that, part of the idea of the draws and everything is that you get random cards, and then cards can be burned for glint. I know it may not be as much as you would like, but then there's also going to be the opportunity to unlock the cards. So if you have extra cards, you'll be able to get the unbinding scrolls. You'll be able to unlock them, and you'll be able to sell them. I think that's kind of all part of the experience. Is you get random cards, and you may or may not get the ones you need, and you could potentially unlock them, sell them, and then buy the ones you do need from someone who has unlocked it. So I don't necessarily think that's something that I want to do, but again, if there's enough support for it, I'd say it's not completely off the table.
I agree with you, Matt. I don't. I know people like try to minimize, maximize their time and minimize waste, and that's like a great, thing in life. But for a game, it actually just makes things more expensive. In other words, if we did that, we would have to charge more because then there would be less left over. And I don't think people consider that when they think about how does the game design work, right? So having extras that maybe just never go away, is no big deal. Maybe we factored that in.
Yeah, but it's not the plan currently. Question from Zekrom. When the new Gladiator set does come out, will we have 2 sets simultaneously available, or will the current one phase out? I'll say I don't know yet, because that's going to be part of a much, much larger change to guilds and guild brawls. So I don't know exactly how it'll work, but we're not going to just like say, oh, the old set's phased out, you don't get anything for it. We generally don't try to ever do that. So I don't know exactly how it will work, but we'll try to design it in such a way that makes sense with the guild updates that we're doing, and then make sure that everyone who has large collections of the current Gladiator cards will be able to continue to get value out of them one way or another. Yeah, I mean, just as a reminder, like the new plan for guild brawls is going to be very, very different from how any battles in Splinterlands have worked to date so far. So it's very outside the box on this one. So it's gonna be pretty neat, but I also don't know exactly how all the cards are going to be used yet. Question again from Rudy: are the current Gladiator cards linked to a specific set? When the new set comes out, how fast will the old ones rotate out of Modern? Yeah, I guess you're talking about the like conscript ability and rule set, because you can use the Gladiator cards in Modern in certain instances. So again, I can't say for sure, for the same reason as the last question. Like we still have a ways to go before a new set is out. I don't know exactly how it will work, but that's what we're going to have to figure out. So I don't think currently the Gladiator cards are linked to a specific set, and they're still available in Modern. And then when the new set comes out, we'll have to see, how those abilities work, and do they only work for the new Gladiator cards, or I don't know. That's part of all the stuff we have to figure out in building this. The question from Quantum Nachos: what about Cinder that's land-based burning of cards for land card crafting? Not sure I follow that.
I think what he's asking is, what about if we made a card from land from Cinder? In other words, just pure, this card costs 80,000 Cinder or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that seems. I guess I'd say all. I mean, I haven't really spent time thinking about this stuff yet. I don't know if you have, Dave, and you want to comment on it, but like I'm open to all these ideas.
Yeah, I do. I do. I have spent a lot of time on that. And the answer is yes, we want to be able to craft cards or other things like skins and stuff for the avatars. All different things are possible in many different ways. And Cinder is just one component that can be used. It could be deck, it could be SPS, it could be, stone, wood, iron, aura, and many other things, right? So at the end of the day, sure, that's definitely possible. And if if that's the mechanism that makes sense and easy to do and effective, then sure, we would consider it.
All right. Question from Marshall Dragon of Doom Eden. Maybe we should or could have proxy voting set up for proposals. Yeah, I mean that's a DAO thing. So that's something that there could be a proposal for adding into the validator system, and then if that's something the community wants and is able to be built, it's fine with me. It's definitely something that a lot of other systems like Hive has. But again, that would just go through. You probably talk to Clay about that one and go through the proposal process. Let's see where we are here. All right, next question looks like from Gathering the Magic. Maybe to help get rid of the abundance of Chaos Legion, there could be a hardcore Chaos Legion survival mode with Chaos Legion cards only. Winner gets Clint and maybe a chance at a unique item, and loser has all their cards burnt. Loser will get Cinder, so they will at least not lose everything. Yeah, that is a cool idea. One of the things we have to be careful of is that's kind of like building a whole new mode, and is it worth spending the time for as compared to other projects? But it is a cool idea, and we have to also see if enough people would even play it to have an active whole mode. Maybe it could be like a single player campaign mode thing potentially. Wouldn't have to worry about battle match liquidity. Maybe we could have a campaign where you can only use Chaos Legion and has specific rewards. And then if your cards die, they die. And we could potentially just allow any cards that you want to use. If you want to burn other cards or potentially burn other cards, I think that would be fine with everyone as well. But cool idea. So thank you for submitting. I think I'm at the end here of the questions. All right, so we'll give it another minute or two. If you haven't got your question in, feel free to throw it in now. As a reminder, you can put your questions in the town hall channel in Discord at any time, and one of the team members will try to respond to it. In between the live town hall events. Anything any of you guys want to talk about or bring up?
Yeah, there hasn't been one black foil Gotham pulled yet. So if you haven't got your copy, now might be a good time to gamble.
I'm saving up my vouchers. I got to get 25 before I take my shot. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my Gothams yet. I was maybe just gonna wait till the arcane what do we call it draw, because you get for all the entries you put in, you get the cards. But I don't remember when you get the cards for the entries, do you have a chance of gold and black foil?
No.
No. All right. So I gotta just go get them with the vouchers. There's
gotta
too much
do
stuff.
both.
I remember the day where I knew exactly how every single thing in the game worked, and man, now there's just way too much stuff. I just I gotta focus. I've been player avatars, and just tangentially trying to keep on top of everything that's going on. But that's good. It kind of shows that we're a more mature project and we have a lot of stuff going on, which is great.
Well, speaking about the Gotham, Matt, just to fill you in case other people don't know, there's 5 gold foil raffles where you craft your raffle ticket. There's only 5.
Mm-hmm.
So the last one that we did was the pickle, and there was 50. So a lot of people are there's plenty of them, and they didn't really want to mess with them. Here, there's only 5. So if you want to take a chance on getting the Gotham Gold Foil Arcane, you're gonna have to move in those 5 days. And then even worse for people that aren't focused is the Black Foil Arcane. There's only one. There's literally one auction. So
and it's going to be the auction for it with the same mechanism where at the
Yes.
end when you bid, it adds more time, so you won't have to have everyone trying to get their bid in at the last second.
And
I'll-
on that case, there's no like, if I miss it, I'm going to get the next one, right?
Yep.
Like, there's one. That's it. So you might want to stock up some auction marks if you're one of those people that want to get that.
Yeah, I've been doing exactly that. The question, when beaver and when pink critter. Is that just like a thing now? Every time it's when beaver. The pink critter's a new one, at least to me.
We are working on the beaver card. So we didn't want to put it out with the reward card set coming. That's going to keep you guys occupied for at least a couple of weeks. But it won't be too long before a beaver card appears.
And sorry, that question was from Brixa app hashtag Team Pink Critter. So that explains that question. We're gonna need a pink beaver critter, I guess, at some point. Yeah, as Quantum Nachos is clarifying that the question was about the graveyard card burning, and we glossed over that, and we already do have a card burning mechanic coming. Yeah, so do you want to talk about that, Dave? Because again, I was just talking about how I forget about I can't keep track of everything going on. That's a good example.
Yeah, well, the card burning for the land cards, we're creating a thing called Sender, and when you use Sender, you're gonna only be able to make Sender by burning cards, and it will be based on PP. So whatever collection power, not CP, not PP. So the collection power of a card, whether it's Alpha or Rebellion or Conclave Arcana and everything in between, is going to determine. So rather than burn it for a deck, which you can do right now, you'll be able to burn that card in instead of getting deck, get Cinder, and then that Cinder is used to participate in the land card. So half of the value of the card, we haven't given the exact numbers yet, but I'll just give rough value, half, and it will change all the time because the price of the assets change. But the Cinder will be half the value and resources will be the other half the value. So that's coming with the land card rollout. I believe what Nachos is asking about is an actual graveyard where you burn and you get something for burning. And Matt mentioned earlier, more than just a one-time thing, maybe put a dynamic in where you could get, even something other than the land cards. Like Cinder could be used for anything. Like it could be a component of anything. And in every place we do it, it's going to be burning cards. So yeah, I definitely want to add more use cases for Cinder, but let's get the first one out before we really get too complicated.
Yeah, I think that's why we did it as a separate asset, right? So then it could
Yeah.
just be another asset in the game. And it's funny because like I always responded to those things like, well, you can burn cards for DEC and you can use DEC to buy like almost everything in the game. So we have a burn mechanic. But I've come to realize that it's more interesting and fun for people if there's a different thing you can get that's like exclusive. So we're gonna have this Cinder that you can get for burning cards, and then that will have special exclusive things that you need Cinder for. So it's not just DEC, which is general, and hopefully that will make card burning more exciting and more heavily used. All right, I think we have one more question. So, Ron, if you don't mind, let's end the questions there. And Gathering the Magic is saying, will research be needed to unlock the land cards? What is the plan? I don't remember the details around the land cards and the are they going to be soulbound or are they going to be unlocked?
They'll be unlocked. So
Yeah. Okay.
you're gonna craft them, and they'll be yours. You can trade them. You can sell them. It is a good idea to use research for other things, and that's actually on my list of things to get to that me and Matt will be discussing over time, like creating more and more reasons to use research.
I think
it's not for unlocking.
Yeah, and I that's going to be a big part of the next land phase that I talked about earlier. after the land cards are done, the next thing where we're going to have, new buildings, potentially new resources. We did like with the Aura Lab, you needed research to get the permits for the Aura Lab. So I think that's a mechanic that we can reuse. So we're going to have a bunch of new stuff, but you'll need research in order to be able to build that new stuff. And then as we get to upgrading buildings to higher levels too, you'll probably need research in order to, figure out how to upgrade your buildings and get more efficiency and all that stuff. So research is definitely going to be a very key and important part of the whole land experience, starting with the next big phase. All right, so that does it for the Q&A portion. Another reminder to feel free to put your questions in the town hall channel at any time, and we'll get to them before the next town hall. The next town hall, it looks like, is going to be Thursday, November 20th. It's going to be at 7 p.m. I think it's going to be Eastern Standard Time. So that's, I think that's going to be midnight UTC time, if my time zone calculations are correct. Week before Thanksgiving. Hopefully we'll have some cool new stuff out for you guys to play with and talk about. Cool new reveals, eye candy, and all that stuff. So hopefully we see you then in a month.
Matt, I have one more thing.
Yeah.
Announcement wise, today is Thursday the 16th. We're going live hopefully Tuesday the 21st, which is 5 days from now. And the first draw is going to happen on Friday the 24th. So that's literally 8 days from now. So that first one, is going to be short printed, so to speak, right? There's only going to be 3 days.
You're talking about the raffle for the reward cards.
Yep. So on that first raffle, you might want to get on it, starting Tuesday, because you literally have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then the first raffle comes. So just to remind everybody, there's 78 prizes every single week. So that means 78 black foils, both arcanes, and black foil arcanes coming every single week. So whoever has raffle tickets gets entered into that raffle.
Yep. So, get them quick after that first release. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody on the call, for coming in and doing awesome work, getting all this stuff done. We will see you in a month and look forward to a big update, hopefully next week. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.